Good. What's up? We're the FREESTYLE on HamiltonRadio.net. I'm Ralphie Ryan, also known as DJ Noise.
Hey.
My right hand man, Billy the Kid. What is up?
What's going on? You gonna have to explain to him why we got the violin.
If you hear in the background, we got some violin. It's to pay homage, to pay respects to Elijah McClain. For the next couple of weeks, next couple of shows until at least charges, until some charges are placed, we're gonna play some violin. I guess is out of respect for him because Elijah McClain did not deserve to die. His only crime was he was black, and I can't seem to still wrap my head around that because he was suspicious simply because he had a mask on. Fast forward to today. That means, if we're all walking with masks on, we could be potentially, suspicious. So, it's not a pretty picture. This happened in August of last year.
Wait. Let's get back to that. Let's do our introduction.
Of course.
That's
But we're gonna, this happened in August of last year. But we're gonna step back real quick and we'll see how Billy's weekend was. How was your weekend?
Our weekend was pretty good. Celebrated a anniversary and everything.
Happy anniversary.
Yeah.
I was gonna be like, happy anniversary, my bros. I was literally gonna, but then I didn't want no backlash. Like, yo, what are you doing?
No, you should have did it because I did it on y'all. So
I know. I was gonna be like, yo, happy anniversary, my bros.
Yeah, I put emphasis on bro.
I know. The wife, you be like, yo.
Yeah, she get it.
It's our couples inside joke.
Yeah, man. I was off all week, man. It was pretty much just me and Brianna, man. She was riding out with me. She had free time. She didn't want to be around her brother, so any escape from Byron, is just love to her, man. So we hung out all week, man.
It's crazy when our kids kind of like are almost the same trajectory of age.
Yeah.
Our daughter's the oldest and our son's the youngest.
Yep, and anything to get away from the sons.
And they get annoyed, like they love their brothers, but they get annoyed easy because
give them their space.
The brother just wants to, they're boys. Yeah. Boys are boys, and they just want to do what boys do.
Yeah, which is annoy sister.
Listen, I did it. I have a sister. I now we don't talk, but I annoyed my sister.
Yeah,
I was the better sibling of the three. My weekend was it was chill. It was chill. It wasn't too much. It was just after the week that I've had, I figured, let me taper down a little.
Taper down a little.
A little, all right,
Contradiction to the Facebook.
Well, I've listen. In recent weeks, anything I post is now anything I post on anything kind of forum. It creates dialogue, debate, and I don't mind.
Yeah.
But if I post something on a group and like I said, those trees get shaken. And they come out of the woodwork and they start attacking me, then, I got to put them on blast, and, I'll report them and expose them. And, if it happens, you're a part of a video and you're going to get circulated throughout social media. And anytime somebody hits your profile, they're going to know, oh, this person is racist.
You even got called out a couple times.
I got called out, and
I saw it. So anywhere you want to meet, buddy. Well, he didn't say buddy. He said a derogatory Spanish name.
And I was like, hey, bring it, bro. Listen, you're gonna, and I have the messages, screenshots. I have all the proof. I said, listen, you want to try it? I said,
I think you're scared.
Listen, if I appear scared, listen.
You keep it up.
Listen.
Gonna come to Hamilton Radio with a nugget, right?
He's gonna come at me with a cane. I'm gonna break the cane over his back.
Hey, no, I'm joking, man. But yeah, that was hilarious though.
and it was the guy. It was the guy that I triggered.
Anywhere you want to meet.
The guy that I triggered, because you know what it is, that when you culturally shock somebody, then you trigger them, because when the person's writing in caps, lowercase, then caps, that means you hit nerves.
Like, you mad?
That means he's trying to.
I'm talking about injustices. Like,
yeah,
how are you that comfortable with the wrong that's being done to us? Like, you're just that comfortable with that the moment that we bring it up or say something about it.
And I get outspoken, and I get called derogatory names. I'm like, yo.
Yeah. Once I saw that S
and
word,
you know how uneducated the person came off, because he doesn't know that I could just go simply to the FBI. And guess what? Hate crime.
For threats
and hate crime, you could be facing 10 to 20 years.
He used the S word, and that's equivalent to the N word with us.
And the crazy thing is that I have the screenshots. So screenshots are a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Excuse my French, but just keeping it real.
Now, my thing is, do you have some friends that have that same energy that you got? Because I never get offered out to the dance floor. I like to dance too. It doesn't always have to be about.
But the
Ralph,
thing,
like
thing is, I see you getting all crazy on Facebook too.
Hey, bruh.
But you see how calm, collective, and I kept my composure. You know what I'm saying? To prove, because the whole world's watching. Even though it's just commentary between two men, you know what I'm saying? You put it on the Facebook, then the whole world is seeing. And then you see it commentating back and forth on the thread anyway, and you see people are saying, damn, this dude really got under this guy's skin, simply by giving the information, the facts, and said, hey, you're uneducated because you keep commenting.
And while you was about to fight your guy, while you was about to fight him, did you see what I did to my guy?
Yeah, I seen the
redneck dude.
Yeah, I seen
dropped
you
a couple of gems on him, and it was just homage after that.
But
I'm like, it don't always have to be about fighting FU.
But see,
he knew to respect my message.
That was just a few. Over the past couple of weeks, I've been threatened with my life. Threatened with derogatory names. Listen, when you believe in something, it's that powerful that people are opposed. And listen,
threatened.
It's threatened, and listen.
That's a threat to. See, they're threatening you physically. You're threatening them by just.
I'm threatening them with
just your existence.
My existence with information, with facts,
it's
is
just
that
a threat.
Is I'm a walking threat, because I'm following proper protocols. Just so you know, I created a petition today to properly remove and readdress the statue. Petition's on my Facebook page. Check it out. Sign it, please. And I created a committee to where we can raise funding to properly remove it and readdress it. I'm following the proper protocols, to properly, do it. I'm not the one that's going out there with a tow truck, and a chain and yanking it off.
All they're gonna do is put it back up. You want it
removed.
There's a difference between taking it down and getting it removed.
Well, they're gonna take it down regardless. It's just when they're gonna take it down. That's the thing. When they're gonna take it down, and I don't want them to put it back up after the discussion. Once they take it down, I want them to permanently keep it down. You know what I'm saying?
You put up a statue of Prince, Michael Jackson, something.
So I mean, I'm creating, the dialogue, following the proper protocols. This way, eventually, the voice is heard. People. Atlantic City took theirs down today. So it's all over. It's all over the United States. People are taking statues down.
Oh, signature already. Brooks, what up?
It's not it's just something that we need to move on from. I oppose of everybody has a different opinion. I have a different opinion on the Washington statue, Abraham Lincoln statue. Because some of those guys fighting in the Revolutionary War, fought under the pretense that they were all going to be free. So that's the reason why, I have a different kind of respect for George Washington. Not, he is considered a founding father. He helped pave the way for the freedom, of the United States. So, in light, he might be a little bit different than Columbus. Columbus, admitted, to atrocities. If you go under the petition and you read the information, as accurate as I can, from the top, read it all, and you can see how brutal he was.
It's crazy that you had to explain it, though, to a lot of people like that somehow don't get it.
Well, you know,
because that's the reason why it's up there to begin with and staying.
shout out to the BLM, you know, the Black Lives Matter movement in Trenton. They protested at the Columbus statue, Let Me Speak, and you know, I met some allies there. You know, some of them have different opinions on certain things, but we all agree that Black Lives Matter and the Columbus statue should be removed. You know what I'm saying? Peacefully. So even though, you know, and like I said, I'm willing to go protest with them. You know what I'm saying? You know, I like the energy, you know, the organization of, you know, the different kinds of people from different kinds of, you know, walks of life.
All passionate.
All passionate. You know, I've seen a diverse amount of people at that protest of Columbus. And literally people came up to me and said, you know, why the statue of Columbus? And I kindly just gave them a quick, you know, historical, you know, just off the top, and they're like, wow, I'm gonna go research. And you know, I'm not trying to change the world. I'm just trying to change a couple minds of, you know, just create the dialogue, just keep the conversation. Yes, we're worried about Black lives, but at the same time, you know, during the Civil Rights Movement, Native Americans added in their rights too. Because listen, our heritage is important too. So if Christopher Columbus is disrespecting our heritage by standing there, you know, when he helped start the transatlantic slave, you know, listen, that's the root of all evil. That's one of the roots of all evil. Listen, let's not honor a guy like that. Listen, keep statues of, you know, Abraham Lincoln, George Washington, you know, the Confederates. Listen, I can't speak. If people have already made their minds up, they got to remove them. Put them in museums so the history could properly be taught. You know, I hate, like I said, I'm against violently destroying monuments. At the end of the day, it's still art. You know, whether, you know, it stands for, you know, somebody that's bad or good, it's still kind of art. I'm just saying, we don't have statues of Hitler. You know what I'm saying? We don't have, you know, I'm just throwing that in there.
Yeah.
But
and plus, like, I can't just walk into your house and like discover your TV while you're in there just chilling, watching it. So.
Exactly. Shout out to all the listeners, all the viewers.
You're in my car. No, I'm not stealing it. I'm discovering. There's a difference.
And now we're gonna move real quick. We'll jump back into this. We haven't gone into the Elijah McClain topic. Today, the news, I don't know if anybody's been on social media throughout the United States. A young lady, a soldier in Fort Hood, Texas. People don't know that Fort Hood is named after a Confederate general. That was a Confederate base, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Fort Hood, a female by the name of Vanessa Guillen was experiencing sexual harassment by 1, 2, or 3 or more individuals. She tried to report it, and she ended up meeting retaliations by those individuals that ended up killing her. One suspect was getting closed in on, and he pulled out a revolver and took his own life. Another suspect has been arrested. We don't know if there's more. There could be more. Justice for Vanessa Guillen. You know, this is a girl that, you know, was fighting for our country, put her life on the line for this country, and she was treated like this. The family was calling for a congressional investigation on, you know, how to handle, you know, those type of situations. And I agree, justice should be served. You know, she is a voice. You know, she should not go unnoticed. You know, the family was not told for a couple months about what's going on until today. So, like I said, justice for Vanessa Guillen. My you know, woman experienced sexual harassment, you know, and retaliation.
Sexual harassment while fighting for the country.
Yep.
All to get, you know, killed by the people that are supposed to be fighting side by side with you. Like,
exactly, and protected her.
It's the craziest scenario.
So, my condolences and prayers to the family. You know, they may not even hear us, but somebody knows that she's in our prayers.
Right, yeah, you say it. You speak it into the universe. You know, make sure, you know, rest peacefully, man.
Exactly, she didn't deserve it.
You know, she needs justice. You know, Got to speak that into the universe, man, because apparently those dudes were around nothing but evil,
Yeah.
Evil minds, to even do some stuff like that. She should have definitely been protected. You know,
Shout out to Gina. Shout out to Phil. Shout out to Brooks.
everybody tuned in.
Everybody's tuning in right now. We love you guys. Now to the Elijah McClain. Now Elijah McClain is, it's hard to wrap my head around this because the kid he wasn't handicapped, but he was not a normal type of individual. He was shy, very timid. He's an introvert.
Right.
He was really, really about his space. He was not, but he also, on his spare time, he was just a great kid. He was just if angels walked among us, he was a prime example. On occasion, he would go to, the animal shelter and play the violin for lonely cats. I mean, who does that? An angel among us, walking among us. He had no bad blood in his body. He was a pacifist. He was just, he was just a good person all around, and didn't deserve.
I could agree.
Didn't deserve what happened to him a year ago.
At all.
Anybody could argue about, police records of this individual, that individual. It doesn't matter. Those individuals died that day. They deserve it. But Elijah McClain had no record. He had his only crime was being black. He was walking home from the store, and he was approached by the cops because he was suspicious. But the caller said that he was not suspicious. He didn't know if he was a good person or a bad person, and he had no weapons, and he didn't know if he was completely suspicious or suspicious. So
because he was walking, swinging his arms, but he had headphones on, and that's common. That's common for somebody to do. Like when you're just walking down the street and like you're really feeling the song, and you're in your own world. Like but that's not a crime.
But if you fast forward it to today, would that kid still be suspicious? Him walking with a mask. You know what I'm saying? You see the picture I'm painting here?
Yeah.
What if it was somebody of a different religion? That requires their face to be covered.
It's sad, man.
How can
when I think of that audio.
Could that be considered suspicious? And it's crazy that you said something about that. It is.
Heartbreaking.
It's because, yes, you could say it's justifiable when they go to investigate, but the fact when he's giving them dialogue and he's not resisting, and they immediately just try to take him down to the ground, that's not de-escalating the situation. That's escalating the situation.
I mean, it wasn't no curse words coming out of his mouth. Like that was like
he was not fighting.
No resistance. You're talking about a scared kid here.
And then they pump him with ketamine to calm him down, and they're saying that the cause of death was undetermined. So, yes, it was undetermined, but the cause of death was the fact that his engagement with Aurora police and paramedics. And now let me paint you a different picture. Do we know, you guys remember the Aurora, theater shooting, right? Was that 8 or 9 years ago, maybe?
Yeah, something like that.
We'll say roughly, 2012, 2013, maybe, give or take. I think it was 2012, maybe, give or take. Don't quote me on the date. But he killed 17 people, I think, right? I think he killed about 17 people. I'm not sure. We can easily fact check. I'm not exactly sure, but I'm pretty sure he either shot or killed 17. Yeah, exactly. My numbers can't be that off. They properly arrested him without a cut or a bruise. So what is the difference between a mass murderer to a guy that's innocent walking down the street with a mask on, minding his own business, and not killing one person?
this is a model citizen. Like this is the things that
Is
police,
that a crazy picture that I just
this
gave?
is what police strive for citizens to be, was him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just model citizens, man, and you know, doing very productive things inside your free time and your spare time.
Just
Bruh,
a very
like,
good
yo,
person.
This kid played violins to stray animals at the animal shelter. You know the type of stuff he could have been doing in his free time. Like, do you know the type of stuff that just people do in their free time? And a lot of it ain't innocent. You know, and it's bad. You just can't say wrong place at the wrong time. Like just living your life. Just being who you are is the wrong place at the wrong time.
His only crime was being black. He was only going to get iced tea.
Like, suspicious to me is walking up the street, pulling door handles, trying to see if something's open, like looking in windows. Suspicious to me is like circling like a house, like, you know, all through their bushes, looking in windows. But like, if you walking up the street and you just kind of swinging your arms or whatever, like, something's either going to let me know that either you just a little off, like you're not a threat to nobody. They said he wasn't a threat to nobody, or you got some music like he had headphones and jamming to his own music. The audio is just gets me because not only is it heartbreaking, but a lot of these officers
he dropped his
turned off their body cams, and he turned their body cams.
He also dropped the famous line, "I can't breathe." So
he said a lot, man. But one of the things that I wouldn't be saying as I'm about to die about the hands of the cops is "I love you." And this man mentioned like still had love inside his heart, still had compassion, being taken to the ground, being manhandled, telling them, you know, that, you know, it hurts. At the same time, he's trying to explain himself to them. Like, at what point as an officer do you, like, it's like you don't hear what's coming out of these people's mouths, like, yo, like, I'm hurt, like, yo, I can't breathe, or, bruh, it's that serious. You know what I'm saying? Like, or as a cop that's around, like, all right, man, you know, ease up, or wait, this is just a kid. You know, like, the moment you probably picked him up, threw him down, you could feel how frail and skinny he was. It really wasn't no need for that much force. But like, they knew it was wrong because they're turning off body cams.
Yeah, you can hear in the
telling other cops, like, literally saying, turn your body
cam
away.
Take that away from me. You know, like, take it away. Here's your body cam. No, take it away from me. You know, it's just it's heartbreaking. You know, like the federal authorities are looking into it, see if there was a civil rights.
They revisited it, man. You know, but other than that, it was over and done with. Other than that, it was just like a case closed.
But remember, this prosecutor is a former cop. You know, they're saying that
his job is to take care of cops who's, you know, are dealing with like work-related incidents like this. So, you know, for them to lie and say that, you know, it was an independent investigation, lie.
Well, there wasn't an independent. They're launching an independent now. Now, they never launched an independent, and now I'm gonna sound like the enemy, but I don't want to. I'm not trying to come off. The prosecutor, looking at the evidence, of course, played it in his mind, you know, and said, yeah, these guys should be brought up on charges. Yes, these guys should be brought up on, you know, excessive force. But the thing is, in a court of law, you have to prove that beyond a shadow of a doubt. And if it's hard to prove it, it's hard to bring those charges. He said, I can't bring up charges if I know they may not stick. So he said, I cannot file charges because of the fact I could not, if I presented this to the attorney, you know, district attorney, or, you know, there's a chance that I would not be able to fight this in court to get a guilty, you know, a conviction. And then you have to understand where he's coming from. But a second autopsy should have been performed. This way, you know, you can see it. If this autopsy was inconclusive, then you can, you know, perform a different autopsy. Maybe something else could come up, and it come, you know, a cause of death would come up. The one thing I gotta say is that the cause of death was the engagement of the police and the paramedics. At that time, he was walking perfectly fine home from the store, getting iced tea for a brother or cousin. At that moment, he was not combative. He was not a threat to anybody in any shape or form. He lost his life 3 days. He died after they pulled the plug 3 days later. He went into cardiac arrest.
Sadly, I got those pictures too.
You know, and the mom wanted to show the world the pictures, because she didn't believe what they were telling her, and she said just how Emmett Till, mom wanted the pictures, I wanted them to see what they did to my son. You know, and you know, like I said, I hope that the family gets justice. I hope that you know, those officers in question and paramedics in question are brought up with charges. The paramedics are just as his fault as his police officers. Had they not administered ketamine, there's a possibility he may not went into cardiac arrest, and he could have been alive today.
It's definitely a disconnect. It's a disconnect between the civilians and like a lot of the law enforcement, like as a whole, like not individual officers, but I mean like just the overall.
And we don't want nobody to think that we're against anti-cop, because we're not anti-cop.
No. One thing I am against is
police brutality.
Is the system structure within itself of injustice. That I would be against that all day long. From the cops to the courts to the corrupt lawyers, the public pretenders, everything that's politically connected. We could do this all day long, because as a whole, it's definitely flawed, and there's a whole bunch of injustices. And sadly, a lot of people of color get the short end of the stick on that. Being 13% of the population and somehow over 50% of the prison population. South Carolina caught an audio of about 4 to 5 cops caught their audio talking amongst each other, and one of them going, I just went out and got an AR. He said, I hope that a civil war starts. He said, we're just going to start slaughtering these N-words. And said they dropped N-words a couple of times inside this audio. And dig this, you know that the cop was like, but I'm not racist. I'm not a racist. Bruh, you just said you got an AR-15. You can't wait till the Civil War starts so you can start slaughtering all of these N-words. And then turn around and go, I'm not racist. Then what the hell does a racist look like? What does a racist say? How does a racist act? If you are not that, oh my goodness, man, maybe I could be wrong.
You're absolutely right.
Maybe I'm wrong.
You're absolutely
Maybe
right.
the fact that he got an AR-15 and he said he's just going to start slaughtering a bunch of N-words and then N-word this and then N-word that, and he can't wait till the Civil War starts, but he's not racist. I could be wrong. And if I'm wrong, you know what? My apologies, because apparently I don't know what a racist looks like. I don't know. You know, it's like, hey, I'm not a racist. I don't hate everybody. Just the N-word. Just those, you know? So, to be a racist, you gotta hate all minorities, or did you just pick a select few? Like, so far we know it's the N-words, it's them, you know. So I guess the Latins are cool. Jewish people, you know, you guys are great.
No, listen. Just because we're Latin don't mean we don't, you know. We get it, bro. We get it just as.
I'm joking, but that's,
you know, we're not behind. You know, even though our color is not as dark as yours, we still get the hate.
Yes,
you know,
Did you say our color not as dark as yours, bro? I could take you to some dark Spanish people right now.
But I'm saying
who look like a Muhammad, but he's a Miguel.
I've been called. I was last week. I've been called a half breed.
Bro, listen, a spec.
Hey,
Spock.
Yo, if you're gonna call it, may as well learn how to spell it right.
He cracking up out there.
That proves, but it proves my point that he was uneducated.
But me, I'd be like, I love Star Trek. Spock, yes, may the forces be with, you know, all of that good stuff, man.
And then he was like, I'm gonna come to you with bells on. I'm like, yo.
Brenda Farmer is hilarious. That's what you have to see. Brenda Farmer went on a post and said, if you black people don't like the way you're being treated in this country, go back to Africa. She said, I'll even pay for the ticket. her inbox went viral. It's just screenshots of people going, hey, Big Brenda, I heard that you're giving out plane tickets back to Africa. All right, listen, it's going to be me, my uncle, a couple of my cousins. I got some pets, all right?
Send me on vacation, too.
Yo, you have to check out that post, man. It went crazy. It went viral. And shout out to the people, man, that could still make light of just, you know, ugly situations that's going on, man. America just needs a house cleaner. America needs a spring cleaner, man. And whether it's from the white spectrum, the black spectrum, Spanish spectrum, you know, no race is perfect, and definitely like no one is better than the other one. Like we all pretty much come from each other, from the same family trees. Just somewhere along the way we lost our dialect, we got our own customs, but nobody should actually shit on another person's customs for what they believe in. Like again, I got into it with a redneck confederate and me and him left with just a mutual respect for each other. It doesn't have to be F you for what you believe in, and at the same time, you know, like this is a redneck confederate telling me I'm very passionate about the Black Lives Matter. Do I have to believe him? No, I don't have to believe every word he says. But at this in particular moment, we're gonna agree to disagree, and we're gonna be mutual. You're gonna go back to your side of the fence where your beliefs are what they are. I'm gonna go back to my side of the fence where my beliefs are what they are. But right here, we have a common ground. So right now, me and you get it. Our camps might be at odds, but me and you get it. And it got religious. And he asked me, he said, you a 5%er? I said, I was surprised he knew what a 5%er was. So I said, yeah, I'm a 5%er. And he goes, well, Christ is king of my book. Christ is king of my book too. Only difference is one of our histories just go a little bit deeper. So I'm like, we want to get deep about it. Jesus wasn't the original name because the letter J didn't come about till the 1500s. And I said, as far as Jerusalem was a name given by the Jews, which means founded in peace. And I broke down the 3 original names of what Jerusalem was before it was called Jerusalem. He went on to heart my comment and kept going at everybody else around me, but he stopped that disrespect at me because I'm like, okay, this is what we're not about to do.
Because sometimes, you know, when we're amongst men and we're dropping knowledge at each other, those educated understand that if another person's educated,
and I said that. I said educate them. You're getting frustrated calling everyone losers and full.
No, but once you educate somebody and they know that, wait a minute, he's dropping knowledge, people step back and appreciate it because don't, you know, listen,
maybe that inspired to bring out the best in you.
Exactly. People who like to research and read, understand and appreciate history, you know, we're not talking about the watered down, the tailored one. We're talking about the real, authentic history.
Whether you white, black,
whether you white,
Spanish,
yeah, exactly. You're gonna appreciate it.
Knowledge really.
So when you're opened up,
color.
So when you're open to having an open mind, and when you're given that information, you instead of you being combative or, you know, apprehensive or defensive,
your mind opens.
You know, you're gonna open up your mind and you're gonna go and research. Many people, you know, of course, with the side effects of being an activist, being outspoken on racial injustices and different injustices, you know, you're gonna have backlash, people that don't agree. But then on the other side, you're gonna have people who definitely agree with what you're gonna say. You know,
but you can
people that have an open mind are gonna say,
conversate without stepping on toes, really offending people.
I never knew this history. I was never taught this. And then the people that you're educating, whether it doesn't matter how old they are, what nationality they are, they're gonna look at you in a different light and they're gonna appreciate you what you just gave them. And more times than none, I don't want people to think that, you know, I'm on Facebook constantly getting threatened because, listen, I'm not a lay down. Listen, if you're gonna threaten me, you best believe you're gonna test me. You're gonna walk away with a broken arm. You might be bigger than me, but you will walk away with pain somehow, some way.
Yeah, like
I will inflict some pain, and I am trained to do so.
A fight isn't exempt, but we're like, you know, I'd rather not.
Exactly, I'd rather not. But you know,
I've had some good conversations, man, with people from different walks. Like I got people who are racist in anybody else's eyes, from their stats to their posts, they're racist. But they're friends with me on Facebook for a particular reason, because they know what they gonna get with me. And at the same time, like, yeah, if you wanna be you, be that. be that. But there's a way that you can go about how you like. I don't have to agree with your customs, but it's too late. Your customs are already your customs.
I do appreciate the fact that people, when I do, engage them and drop the knowledge that
schooling, educating.
I use the terminology, you take them to church the proper way.
Church.
You take somebody to church and you show them a different view of the history that they're tailored to listen to and they believe, and you open their minds. Like, whoa. More often, I have people thanking me or saying, "Man, it's before this post, I came into this commenting a different way. Now I'm thinking a different."
You know why? Because they realize that the enemy is not the color of our skin, but the real enemy is ignorance. It's ignorance.
It's a society.
The real enemy
of what we're going
is not knowing what another person's custom is, but judging them off of that before you actually find out what they're about. I'm not gonna hate all Asians. I'm not gonna hate because they're not me.
I'm not gonna hate all Asians because the coronavirus came from China.
And I'm not gonna.
I can't do that.
I'm not gonna hate all European people because they talk like they drink. I could sit there and make jokes all day.
I was in a store yesterday.
But I'm not about to hate somebody for who and what they are.
I was in a store yesterday and I sneezed. I had a mask on. I sneezed, and 2 Asian kids said, "God bless you." And it's symbolic because it was 2 Asians.
Right.
Now,
our cliche is like,
you know what I'm saying? But I said, thank you. I appreciate it. Like I said, I
mean, when
I
you
respect
got the
everybody.
commander and chief singing what do you call it, the kung flu or whatever it is, because you don't know what's about to come out this dude's mouth.
I heard the one that I heard is Commander and Tweet.
Commander and Tweet.
That's the best one I heard. Commander and Tweet.
We could throw names all day long about this dude, man. That's the joy of it, man. But our real common enemy. It's not even just between the civilians and the police, because with that, the common enemy is hate. At some point, on that side of the fence, there is a hate for a society that is hard to detect until something makes it evident. Like, wow, like we never knew y'all had this much hatred. Or it starts opening eyes. And at the same time, there's a disconnect with the people, but both of them mirror each other. The same way the cops condemn us for going, you guys need to tell. You guys got a no snitch policy. Snitches get stitches and all this other stuff. Wait. But the police academy has one too. Because what about the cops that speak out about the injustice or speak up about wrongdoings and they get targeted? They get ousted. They're known that y'all got this same thing. It's almost ran like a gang. It's almost ran like a mob. Like, come on, we're not stupid. Don't play us. So the real enemy there is hate. The enemy that a lot of people are trying to make a black and white thing and all this other stuff is ignorance. You know what I'm saying? And I'm telling you, on my timeline, I do have some people who we can legitimately say, just flat out say, are racist. But somehow they made it to my timeline because they want to see the show. They at some point we conversated, and it's just like, you know what, I'm gonna keep this one around. Where I've dropped some jewels on them, they've dropped some. I was talking with this dude that he kept throwing the swastika around. And he had a different meaning and belief system to it. Bruh, your customs are already a custom. I'm not here to convert you or change your mind or even condemn you. Your beliefs are what they are. But when I went into how the swastika came from Aryan India, you know what I'm saying? And it was originally a symbol of peace. That was our icebreaker. That was our common ground. And then he went into a history about Aryan itself. You see what I'm saying? But somehow, here comes a friend request, and I'm going to accept it, and I'm going to answer it. Now, anybody else?
Well, you're like
I ain't being friends with that racist.
You're like me.
Stick around.
We see good in everybody, regardless of their opinions, beliefs. And sometimes you see, sometimes I gotta cut them off, and I've sent you some pictures and stuff. Some of those could have been my friends, and like I said, when you start opening up, outspoken enough, you see people coming out of the woodworks, And you're like, whoa, I didn't know you were that way. I didn't know you thought that way. And you scroll through your Facebook and you see people commenting on your stuff in certain ways. You're like, damn, And sometimes, you leave them on because they don't know their intention of what they're saying isn't racist, but they don't know it. It could be racist, but they don't understand.
Right. They're not looking at it from the other person's perspective.
Exactly. They're seeing it from their perspective on how they're perceiving it, but they're not looking at it how others perceive it.
Now, when they're talking to you, they believe that they're giving you substance. They're dropping down. Now, when you come in and you're like, I just need you to kind of see it this way. Or you come in with the facts for their facts. Which, like, again, me and this guy got into it about religion, and I just went back further and further and further. But it left with a mutual respect over a...
Shout out to Andre. He just popped in. Andre.
I saw that.
Andre's been an avid listener, watcher.
Shout out.
Shout out to my boy Craig. Earlier, Shay gave me a shout out on his live.
Right, Andre, he said it. It's ignorance. That's the real enemy here, because again, it's a lot of people that don't want to go back that far to accept where we actually really come from.
Well, the thing is, here's the thing. We can't go back that far.
Mentally.
You know what I'm saying?
Mentally.
No, physically we can't go back that far, because in order for us to progress, we have to move forward. And in order for us to move forward, we have,
you have to correct the errors. So you have to revisit it.
We are at a crossroad right now where the United States it's hurting right now. We got a pandemic that's just not going away. We're dealing with other things that potentially could be just as bad. You hear sandstorms, you hear murder hornets, you hear this, you hear that. Global warming and anything and everything attached to what's going on right now.
You don't know what you're going to get in the coming months.
Yeah, and plus, we have this racial
tension, divide.
I think it's probably safe to say it's probably the round 2 of today's, or today's version of the civil rights movement. Because if you hear the echoes of the 1960s, they landed a guy on the moon. Then we just sent somebody to outer space just recently during this time.
It's like some of the same things that mirror reflect each other.
Exactly. History, we say history doesn't repeat itself, but in this light, it kind of is. Like the injustices is what happened, and then instead of seeing the Black Panther, you see legally armed black Americans protecting their friends and family. You're seeing different
the other side of
guns,
guns,
having guns
just for different causes,
it's the same. It's almost like it reminds me of the echoes of I wasn't live, we was not alive, but a reading, a research video and stuff. It's almost reminiscent of what's going on now. Then it's no different.
But this generation coming up is different. They're not us, they're not our parents, and they're not our grandparents. Now everything is social media.
The generation has, this generation of millennial and
Generation X, Generation Z,
privileged. How they say, they're, they want to be privileged, or self-assertive, or, I'm missing that word. They demand, the generation today is not, like you said, is not the generation of then. Adults, and many generations been talking, this generation of millennials are, they're crybabies. But I gotta tip my hat to them, because they're the ones with the energy right now. They're the ones out there are
You gotta see it.
You have to see it.
You gotta see it. Listen, man. When I tune,
They're the future. They're the future.
When I tune in social media, man, like the thing that I love the most, especially with this new app, TikTok, and all of that stuff. TikTok is an Asian-based app.
It's not Asian based. It's owned by China. They take those. Well, you know what I mean. Well, China,
you know what I mean.
China takes those videos and they use it as propaganda. Against us.
But
to the people about us.
But point blank is still, it's all about statistics, let's say. But one thing that I can say, like whether you factor in Facebook, Instagram, Snap, TikTok, this is a place, man, especially TikTok, where I've seen so many just younger generations. I found out about TikTok through my daughter, and I love that it's black, it's white, it's Indian, it's everything, like majority thing, and they all duplicate and like imitate each other like in these funny videos, man. If it's one thing that we could all share together, it's some good entertainment, it's some good laughter. Like it's different when I tune into TikTok and I see like a so-called soccer mom or like anybody else who would be like a lawyer or like in a high place of office, and he's like doing to teach me how to Dougie dance, or he's like doing the nene or something like that. Cool, man. You know, that's culturally diverse right there, man. And I love those videos. I spend a lot of time on TikTok. I haven't been in a while, man. But then the influence or hand that they had in Trump's last rally in Tulsa, where they got all of the tickets. They got all of the tickets to the rally, and they had them believing it was going to be like over 1 million people coming, and it reached like 6,000 at like maximum capacity, and that was like a stick it to you type of thing. And these are the younger kids. You know, like, wait a minute. We didn't even know that you guys were even up to this. You know, so they got their own unity brewing up underneath everybody that I don't feel like we're ready for. I don't feel like our parents' generations are ready for. I don't even feel like all of their generation are not ready for. We really don't know the true capability of these kids. All I know is that as of right now, they are way more together than what our generation was. They're way more together than what our parents' generation was, man.
The revolution, you know, it started. And for everybody's generation, you know, they have a revolution of their own.
And I'm loving it.
And today,
that's what I can say. I'm loving it.
The revolution has started in a different light, in a different way. You know, some of it's gonna be loud, some of it's gonna be quiet, some of it's gonna be peaceful. It's just it is how you interpret it, and it's how they perceive the message to send the message out.
See, America's on the brink right now, but I hope that it stops with them. With our kids' generation, I really hope that it stops with them, man, because things have been systematic. And it's just embedded, and it's just deep rooted.
And my argument is, everybody's like, you know, when I'm constantly saying, oh, statues this, statues that, they're like, oh, it's my heritage. But you know what? Did you guys ever ask me, what about my heritage?
What's comfortable to some might be toxic to another person.
Exactly.
You know, but our kids are not about to, you know, they're not about to do
and
that. And
in other news, we were supposed to be opening the indoor dining, I think tomorrow. And what happened was, around the country, you know, the virus is resurging at an alarming rate. They have no idea how to curb it.
Pay attention to what other states were doing that curbed it. You wear a mask, you do social distancing.
New Jersey.
While we were up here doing that, Florida had the beaches open.
Yeah, New Jersey.
Come on, it's common
and
sense.
New York are right now doing okay.
Yeah.
You know, there is some spikes, but we're doing okay. I posted, you know, I don't agree that we should all be indoors and the restrictions should be really, really bad. But in a way, look at the other states. They're doing bad, you know, and in some type of way, I do have to agree with Cuomo and, you know, and Murphy. Listen, at the end of the day, I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not an independent. How I accept and interpret information is how I see things. You know what I'm saying? It's not, oh, he's a Democrat. He must be lying.
Word.
Oh, he's a Republican. He must be lying.
Word.
That's not how I see it. That is not how I see it. You know, like, I don't see things like that. You know, like I see things.
I will see your personality.
I see the personality,
your personal views.
you know, what you convey. You know,
yeah, definitely.
so it's not about, you know, when I talk about this, it's not about Republican, left or right. It's not about that. You know, I'm not against the cops. I'm not against, you know, any particular race of anybody. You know, I love everybody, respect everybody, respect cops. And I believe that yes, we all matter, but Black lives have to matter first. You know, we all, of course, matter, but again, Black lives have to matter first, because we would not, we would not, if we all mattered, Black lives would matter. You know, so that's the argument right there. You know, of course, I respect cops. I have a lot of friends that are cops, a lot of friends, family. You know, I've known all my life. You know, and I have a privilege, and I'm blessed to have friends that are in the police force. You know, I respect them. I can't go out and say defund the police, when my friends and family are the police. So you know, there's a different level of loyalty, different level of understanding for the cops and respect for the cops. You know, so that being said, that's where I stand on that. But I'm blessed. I thank the Lord, you know, that I'm here. You know, shouts to everybody that's part of my life. Shouts to, you know, my wife, my son, my daughter, all my extended family. I love you guys. My friends, you know, that constantly support me. You know, constantly come to my aid. You know, constantly, you know, when, doesn't matter what it is. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. You know, and you know, their name was Vanessa Guillen and Elijah McLean. The shout outs.
Shout out to your entire message. You know, shout out to Hamilton Radio. Shout out to all of my family, friends, everybody that tuned in. If this has just happened to be uncomfortable for anybody, it's just a reality check. It's a reality check, man, that, you know, has to get faced, has to get addressed, you know, before things could, you know, really genuinely move on. And again, you know, like what, you know, better people to hear from, you know, than us, man. You know, it's not a one-sided thing, you know, like you said, it ain't a black first white thing, it ain't a us first cops thing, man. It's all about a perspective thing. It's all about a, you know, like
trying to make us literally better.
Yeah, like the perspective of knowing a person's true heritage, knowing a person's true intentions. You know, like you learn that you like people, you learn that you dislike people. It's an individual thing, you know. But again, like the real enemy is hate, and on the other side of the fence, the real enemy is a lack of knowledge. And without it, you know, we just all a threat. We just all a threat to not only, you know, ourselves, but, you know, humanity and abroad. You know, so we got to get educated on one another.
And listen,
be able to move forward. Educate yourselves on the cultural differences of everyone that's around you.
And don't be afraid to, like you said, don't be afraid to educate each other. You know, just because one person doesn't have that knowledge, don't be afraid to, you know, open up your mind to open up their mind to what you know.
Like, that's the problem. Y'all too quiet. Y'all don't bring what's on your mind, and you want to bring it up, talk about it. It don't got to lead to arguing and F this and F that. You know, I leave with mutual grounds with people from different walks of life. We leave on mutual grounds.
And
mutual
even if they're, you know, same nationality as you, you know, and they don't know the history, listen, you know, enlighten them a little, help them out. Maybe they don't have the same knowledge that you have, and, you know, if you show them a different kind of, you know, picture. Like I said,
talk about your heritage.
I'm not here to change the world. Just change certain things about it. You know, I'm only one person. You know, I just thrive to just be a better person. I thrive. You know what I do every day? I thrive to be a better version of myself today than tomorrow.
Right.
That's it.
And then hope that your kids are listening to that and paying attention, and they carry it to the next level.
I'm not perfect. You know, I'm not perfect. You know, I'm just a human being that just cares about everybody in general, and I believe in peace and I believe in good. You know, that's it.
Hey, stand up for what you believe in, man. But come together while doing it. Like, you just gotta balance the two. Stand up for what you believe in, but do it simultaneously while coming together with people of other culturally different backgrounds. So at some point, we all got the same voice. You know, right now it's just a lot of chatter, a lot of division. Just got to clear some of that out. Peace is the absence of all confusion. We got to find peace.
Absolutely. And as always, we're the Freestyle Freaks on HamiltonRadio.net, one of the top 10 internet radio stations in the world. We are the Freestyle Freaks, bringing you real commentating, real news, real information, real fact, nothing fake, nothing written. We just, have our minds open here. And
it ain't called Freestyle Show for no reason.
We're the Freestyle Freaks. I'm Rapper Ryan, also known as DJ Noise. My right-hand man, Billy the Kid. And we're out. Till next week, till Wednesday, we'll be out. See you.
Peace.
Enjoy your 4th of July. Peace.